Hi, everybody. I'm Sunny. Today, I'm sitting down with a very, very special man. You know, people see this guy on the internet. They're like, who the hell is this guy? And can I meet him? Because I love this dude. He's hilarious. He's funny. And he's like a gentle bear that you just want to hug. Okay. So he's a guy named Yogi Bryan. He's been building one of the most common presence on the internet. He's a meditation and sleep hypnosis guide with hundreds and thousands of followers, actually millions of followers across YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. He's got an app with thousands of users on it called Chill Pill. And every day he helps people slow down, to sleep better, and just relax. And which honestly is harder than it sounds in this day and age if you turn on any form of media. As someone who's been building breakthrough specifically for wellness teachers like Brian, I really want to use this conversation to dig into what it really takes to grow a wellness audience from scratch. I know a lot of people listening are trying to do that. A lot of people in the world are trying to do that, put themselves out there. And also, we want to hear from Brian. We want to learn from him what's working right now and how he thinks about building a business, specifically something that's as intimate as someone's sleep and mental state. So with that, Brian, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Sunny. Happy to be here. Yes.
I freaking love this dude. So Brian, you know, for the people that may not know, right? Who are you? How did you get started?
Yeah. So everybody listening, if you have no clue who I am, Yogi Bryan, certified hypnotherapist, neuro-linguistic programmer, author of It's Just Fucking Meditation. I started this journey back in 2016 on accident. I was on Instagram and I saw one of my friends posting for a yoga challenge. She was posting on her kitchen table, on her bed, all over the house. I thought this was ridiculous. And at the time I had dabbled with Kundalini yoga, Bikram yoga, hot yoga, all this shit. And I was like, I should make an Instagram account to make fun of yoga. So I make this Instagram account. It's called Namaste AF at the time, for Namaste as fuck. And I make a couple posts. I get 1,000 followers within a week or two. I think I'm fucking famous. I need to find an agent, look for mansions in the Hollywood Hills. You know, I thought I was famous. I'm like, fuck it. I should join a yoga studio to make fun of yoga more. So I joined this yoga studio, start to practice. I was going through a divorce at the time, a rough time in my life, and yoga saved my fucking life. I wouldn't be here if I didn't find the practice of yoga accidentally. And then I was like, fuck it. I should join yoga teacher training. So join yoga teacher training, paid in full.
Dude, just keep making fun of yoga, right?
The universe took care of the rest. Yeah, just keep making fun of yoga. Yeah, universe took care of the rest. And one of my favorite teachers, Brian Kest, I was watching an interview with him, and he said his teacher told him that if you practice yoga, the universe takes care of the rest. And that's been 100% true for me. If I do the practice of yoga meditation, I get downloads from the universe, what to do next, what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses, and then teachers appear in my life. And it's 100% true for me, and I've seen it 100% true for other people in the yoga meditation practice. So yeah, that's a little bit of my journey.
Man, that's so crazy. So literally, do you remember what the first few posts were? Because like that getting us started from going from zero to a couple of thousands is sometimes the hardest. No, what were the first couple of posts, and what was that process getting started?
Yeah, my first post was I was on top of a bunk bed doing chair pose, and I was like elevating my practice or something like that. It's still on there. People can check Namaste_AF. Scroll all the way to the bottom of the post. You can see my first like 5 posts there. They're ridiculous.
Wow. That's so funny. And we're going to go sideways in all kinds of directions. What happened to the Namaste AF page? If you don't want to talk about it, you can hit pass.
Yeah, I ended up getting, so I started that 2016, 2019-ish. I got a cease and desist from another company who had filed a trademark like 2 weeks before. And I was like, fuck it. I don't want to fight this. And I had a Yogi Bryan account also, which was my personal account, Yogi Bryan. And I was like, fuck it. I'm rebranding to Yogi Bryan. It's my self. Nobody can take myself away from me. So yeah, Yogi Bryan rebrand. And yeah, it's been fucking flowing ever since.
So this company, whoever it is, they should remain nameless. I guess it's Namaste AF. They trademarked that. They said, hey, you made this account, but really we trademarked it. So hand it over pretty much. And how many followers?
They just said stop posting with it. Yeah, I was at 60-something thousand followers. I had merch that I was selling for it also. And it was like my baby. It was my life at the time. So it was like being reborn back in 2019, which was a blessing. It was a blessing to start over.
Now, taking in that journey for the Instagram creators, So now you're like, hey, I need to stop posting on this. How big was your Yogi Bryan account, your personal account at that time?
Yeah, I think maybe like a couple hundred followers at the time. And then when I told
Wow.
everybody from Namaste F to go to Yogi Bryan, I think within a week, like 14,000 people came over from the 60,000. So I had some loyal fuckers come over. But yeah, it was a rough time for me to start over.
But dude, now look at you. You're on Instagram. I was just checking this morning. You're at like 800K, over 800K. TikTok, you're killing it. I mean, look who's laughing now. Thank you, cease and desist.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Wow.
And the thing is, I reached out to them like previously before, that cease and desist to see if we can like combine forces, and didn't really get anywhere there. So it's like, fuck it, I just pivoted, the challenge appeared, and I could have fought it and probably won, but I didn't have that
Yeah.
time and energy. And, I recommend anybody out there starting a brand or starting a business, just start with your name. Start with your name.
Right. They can't take that away from you. Yeah. It's on your driver.
Can't fucking take your name.
Yeah. Yeah, this is fascinating, man. And your journey is so fascinating. I'm curious, what would you say to somebody that's trying to build up their audience, right? They're a yoga teacher. Dude, I talk to so many yoga teachers, they want to build up their audience, right? They're like, sometimes for them it's like posting consistently is tough, making content is tough. I mean, for a guy who's literally at millions of followers across the social media platforms, how do you do it, Brian? What would you tell a white belt?
Yeah. And I love this. I love working and mentoring, people coming up and really motivated to do this. It takes consistency and like an obsession, pretty much. I post almost every day, sometimes multiple times a day. And I've been doing this since 2016 and just testing different platforms, growing Instagram, and then also starting on TikTok. I started my TikTok maybe 2019 or 2020, and I kept posting and then deleting it. I'm like, I'm not 15 years old dancing, so I don't know what to post here. Like, I'm a yoga meditation person. Like, what do I post on TikTok? And then finally, I just committed to posting every day for 30 days and just getting used to the platform, making it my style. And yeah, I think one of those 30 posts did well and then built following there. So it's really, anybody starting a brand, you gotta fucking post every day for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. And most of those won't get any views, probably. You gotta test it. You gotta find your voice. You gotta see what works. And I see it all the time. Like, people, start a brand and then they post 5 times and then they quit because nobody's watching it. Well, yeah, you gotta post fucking 30 times, 90 times. You gotta do this consistently.
Yeah. I mean, this is so close to home for me because I'm trying to build my personal brand. I've been in business 6 years and I'm like, maybe it's time to build my personal brand on Instagram where I build my business, with people like yourself. So I love learning from you, man. What is like, can you take us through your process? I mean, I'm sure now it's been so many years, it's rinse and repeat, right? You said post consistently 30 days. Do you make a plan for yourself with ideas? Because sometimes I have so many ideas and then I get in front of a camera, I'm like, I think you should do this. You should make an app, and other times I'm like, I'll be on a call and I can engage with people. You know what I'm saying? So what is that process that's worked for you to be consistent? Like, do you write things down? Do you take us behind the scenes here, Brian?
Yeah. So I test my process so many times. In terms of content, whenever I feel inspired, I just fucking record. And I record. Sometimes it's just one. Sometimes it's one video. Like yesterday, I felt just inspired. I recorded one video really quick before I had to go out, and then I posted it, and that's doing okay. Sometimes it takes time for the algorithm to keep up. Other times, I'll try and batch post, and then, I'll look at my batch posts and maybe I'm like not feeling that post anymore. So I go a lot by feel. And some of my most successful posts are in the moment. Like, I just get inspired. I'm like, I'm going to fucking post right now and do it. I love, scrolling and finding inspiration, seeing what other people are doing, what's working, what songs that they're using, what captions are they using, what's trending right now. And then I either get inspiration that day or, sometimes I wake up and get inspiration. But I really make content as I'm inspired, which I feel like creativity is a muscle and everybody is creative. And I just use that muscle daily. I at least post something every day or make something every day. And I do that too when I'm really, in making meditations, long form meditations for the app.
Yeah.
I get into creative mode where I make something every day. I have a routine, do my morning routine, then I go into my little studio, my closet, and I make a meditation every day. And then that boosts the creativity. And then maybe 1 out of 30 of those are fucking just gold. And the rest are, decent. But yeah, it's just making something every day.
By the way, quick shout out to, I know we're going to get to the app in a second. Since you mentioned meditation, if you go to the Chill Pill app, my favorite meditation to fall asleep on Brian's app is the sleepy cabin meditation. Bro, that I put that on. I can't put that on when I'm driving because I'll fall asleep right away because I'm so programmed now. I've listened to that probably hundreds of times. Sleepy cabin
That's
meditation.
awesome.
We'll come back to that. Brian, do you mind if I keep pulling a little bit more on this? Just because
Sure.
it's amazing, man. Like, you're a fucking content machine. I remember. Do you remember? It was like a Latino guy. I think it was in COVID. He was just on a skateboard drinking that juice. What was it, like a pomegranate juice? Singing to "Dreams" by Fleetwood Mac. And I think you did the same one, didn't you? That was such a
I
funny
think
video.
so. Yeah.
Man, you've done so much content. You don't even remember.
I don't.
But you remember that viral moment, right? This Latino guy, he just like got on a skateboard and he was just riding like on an on-ramp to seems like a highway, but really it was a road to the Dreams and singing "Dreams" by Fleetwood Mac. And I remember you did the same one. So you get inspired, you record. Is it for you? Is this like right in the morning, or is just like, you got responsibilities in your day? And I know you were doing this a lot before when you had a full-time job. How did you make time for it? When did you make time?
Yeah, it's really like an obsession for me. I'm thinking about it nonstop, either recording or inspired. And, I always keep my voice note. And anytime I'm inspired, I just talk into the voice note. And I normally, my morning routine is really powerful for me. And I started this morning routine in 2019. It's, I meditate, I go for a walk. On my walk, I just have ideas, and I do a 30-minute walk, and then any ideas I have, I talk into my voice recorder, and then I'll do morning pages, free flow, 3 pages. Julia Cameron invented it, and she invented it for creativity. So I'm like constantly working my creativity muscle.
Damn, that's a powerful routine. And what time do you wake up in the morning, Brad?
I normally wake up like 5:30 to 6 a.m., anywhere around there. I take my son to school, so I get my morning routine before that, and then I come back and record. My routine's changed, how life has changed. So yeah, I get into that, and then I normally, come back. I take him to school 8, come back from like 8 to 9ish. And I'm just kind of journaling, seeing what the day's in store for content. And then I either make a meditation, make some Instagram content or short form content. And then, yeah, it's like an obsession.
That's awesome. And how do you edit your videos, Brian? What's the editing process
I just use either the Edits app or TikTok app. Like, there's hardly much editing. I'll just add music and add captions to it. I've came to a point where I just make it super easy to make content, and there's not hours of editing because I never know what's going to do well. And it's luck sometimes with the algorithm. It really is. Like, I can post the same thing, but just a different time, and it does well. So it just really depends.
It's almost like the more you post, the more lucky you get because you're having so many more shots at goal, right? Yeah, that's crazy.
100%. I mean, when I really want to grow, it's like 3 posts a day, and maybe 1 of those posts per week does well, and then I can really test, music. I can test captions. So yeah.
And the metric you're looking
more posting, the better.
More posting, the better. And you're looking at the metric you're checking for views, you're checking for engagement. What are some of the, how do you measure that success? If a post is successful?
I mean, because I'm a business owner, I measure it in conversions. Are they converting to, my longer form? Are they converting to the Chill Pill with Yogi Bryan app? Do they join my communities? That's really, that there's, I want to give as much value out there as well. But also, like, I'm running a business, I got to keep this going, so I can help more people. I need to make revenue. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Brian, how long did you do the Instagram thing before you're like, yo, I got to go full time in on this? Because you had a day job, right? If you don't mind sharing, what was the day job? Because people are going to be surprised, I think.
Yeah, I was working in banking since 2008. I was in banking since 2008. And I did all sorts, personal banker. I remember working at this bank for quite some time and I was ironing my blue shirt every fucking morning. And I was like, man, I'm trapped. I'm stuck. I'm in the corporate 9 to 5. I'm going to be ironing this blue shirt every fucking morning. And that
Yeah.
was from like 2008 to like 2012-ish. And then I worked in insurance for a little bit. And then I got a really good banking job at a really good bank. That was a tech bank. And I did that for pretty much 10 years and I really enjoyed it. And I was working on this side hustle, making content, and it evolved from teaching yoga during the pandemic, doing yoga on Zooms and then going online. And then, that was around the time I started recording meditations.
Yeah.
And that ended up, it was 2024 where I finally quit my corporate job because I was teaching meditation teacher trainings and the Chill Pill with Yogi Bryan app, and just everything started flowing, doing retreats. So I just had to quit my day job because I was traveling so much. So it kind of evolved. It evolved.
Yeah. In your business, you have a lot of things that make money, right? Do you mind listing what are the different areas of the business that make money?
Yeah, so I have like 200 plus recorded meditations out there. The Chill Pill app, number one in terms of my business. And then, I'm on Insight Timer. So things flow on Insight Timer as well. Podcasts, ad revenue on podcasts. Meditation teacher training, the Yogi Bryan Academy, where I teach others what I'm doing. And then in the future, I'm doing more NLP hypnosis trainings. Then I do one-on-one coaching, things like that. So a lot of different streams, sell merch. I got the merch line.
The merch is killer, bro.
.com.
The merch is sick.
Thank you.
Wait, shout out the merch. What's the website?
Yeah, yogibryanshop.com. Check it out.
And now, Brian,
the merch.
from these different aspects of the business, what are the favorite ones to work on for you that you love?
The favorite ones to work on, and it's evolved, right? When I first started doing this, I love making content. I still love making content and making long form meditations. I love doing that. And recently, since I've been doing that, launched the app 2022, recorded so many meditations, grew this brand. I really love mentoring people in the wellness space that are looking to, grow their voice, grow their business, grow their content, and maybe establish their own app. So I love that because I've done this since 2016. So I've tested so much. So it's like anybody that works with me is getting a big leap in learning and growing the content and growing their wellness brand and like dealing with, some of these things that come up.
Yeah. Wow. 10 years in this business, huh? Decade.
10 years.
Coming up to a decade. You're 4 years on the app with us, which is nuts.
Nuts. Coming on 5 years in May, which is insane.
Coming on 5 years. That's right. That's insane, dude. Brian, quick sidebar. You've been involved, you came from corporate banker life. That you really dedicate, you were making fun of it, but then it became totally part of your life. What's been the weirdest thing about the yoga community? And there could be multiple.
Yeah, what's been the weirdest thing? The weirdest thing, and I'm talking to any creators out there, wellness creators, you have a persona online. So you have a persona online or whatever you're doing. You're a healer, you're this persona, but then there's also like yourself that you have in private life. There's Brian in private life, and then there's Yogi Bryan, which is a persona. It's a business. So it is not blurring those together, because you're gonna have people reaching out to you and they reach out to Yogi Bryan. And yes, like there is a persona and there's a business aspect to that. And then there's yourself. So having it separate, make sure you have good friends, good people that you're surrounded with outside your persona, if that makes any sense.
Yes.
And that's something that I've learned over 10 years, and it's really coming full circle now. If that makes any sense. But yeah, it's one of the, I think I see this a lot with creators and, people that are making content. It's like, make sure you do have a solid core that know your true, like know your personal side, and kind of, mixing that sometimes gets a little rough.
Yeah, I feel like you strike that balance really well. I've hung out with you in person so many times, done like probably hundreds of hours of calls and stuff in our relationship. And dude, I feel like you're so authentic and so genuine, but at the same time, like, it's not like you're saying, hey, fucker, to me in meetings and when we
Yeah.
meet in person, but you have those kind of meditation where it's almost, I don't want to say you're playing a character, but it's a different side of you, but it still feels
Yeah.
authentic. And when I see you, it still feels very authentic. So it's like, it's really interesting to see that.
Thank you. And love that. Yeah. It's, I share my true authentic self here as Yogi Bryan, but then there's your, your private side, personal side. There's so many different personas and aspects to a person, so it's like, if I get a DM from somebody like truly struggling, it's like, okay, this is Yogi Bryan, this is the business side, and then, my personal side, and kind of not mixing that at all in terms of like personal, business, persona, yeah. So I'm speaking to the wellness professional out there to take care of that part of yourself, take care of the private part and nurture the private part and get help if you need to, get rest if you need to, really, recharge that aspect of yourself because, and I hear it a lot, including myself. It's like we overgive and we're giving so much and we're trying to help so much. And then we kind of neglect our private, personal side. And we need healthy relationships. We need people to talk to outside the persona that you have on social media. So I think that's the strangest part for, being a creator, content creator, business owner is really nurturing that private side and having a good group of people, good friends that know you for like, Sunny, or know you for Brian, or know you for Sarah, not for like Sarah who teaches yoga.
Yeah. Yeah. Brian, have you met any weird people in this journey? Because like you're online, you got millions of people, teachers, followers. Give us some weird people. Let's throw them under the bus in a anonymous, mindful way.
Gosh, yeah, and I actually had, a super fan, for a while, and I'm busy, so I can't respond to like all my DMs all the time or messages.
I
have an assistant for that. And, sometimes the message get really, outside my expertise. I'm not a professional therapist. I'm not a psychiatrist, so my team does refer that out to like, hey, call this hotline. Like, this is not something that, and it's not something I personally don't know some of these people, and it flatters me that they reach out and they really do want help. But I have a son, I have a puppy, I'm traveling, I'm a content creator, I'm making a lot of stuff. So I do have a team that I can't respond to everybody's DMs. And one of my assistants responded to a DM, and then he just went completely ballistic, like slurs to me and my team, and, giving the bad reviews and just all over the place. And, it sucks he's struggling with whatever he's struggling with, but it's like, it's tough to see that. And anybody following a creator, really have good relationships in person. If you're following a creator and like this is your parasocial relationship, like get live relationships, get in-person therapy or help. Don't send your trauma to somebody in a DM.
Yeah.
It's just too much. It's too much. So like that's why, I'm really filtered with my own mental health and like what I read and my team is because I do get a lot of stuff, like heavy stuff dumped on me. And it's like, when you go to a therapist, you pay to talk to that therapist, and it's a exchange. When you're dumping some heavy shit on somebody's DMs that you don't really know, like it's kind of one-sided there. So I do get a lot of that, but I also have a team to protect my own mental health. And I am flattered that people do reach out and all that, but there is certain channels to reach out to, find somebody local. I do offer coaching and mentorship, but it's mostly for wellness professionals looking to grow their business.
Yeah. Yeah. This online world is weird, right? It's like supposed to make us more open and connected, as a Zuck would say, but in reality, it's making us feel lonely, and it's like confusing. This is so new if you think about it. It's only a couple of decades old, not even that. And this whole Instagram and social media, and sometimes people don't know the difference between seeing you at a festival versus like they're at their home on their couch scrolling and seeing your funny video, and it's like, oh my God, I'm so lonely, and this is my friend, and they dump on you. And I think maybe age also plays a factor there. Like, for me, I've grown up with computers, right? You've probably part of your life, you've grown up with computers and stuff. And I think for Yeah, it's really weird and awkward, but yeah,
Yeah,
you know, I got empathy for that person. I got empathy for all your people, and we see that on the app too. People are pouring their heart out, which is
exactly.
so beautiful.
I
It's
love it.
so
I
beautiful.
mean, it's great that this content helps, and that's why I really make it out there. I make this content to really help people. But yeah, that's just in terms of some of the strangest things. It's like, what I want is, and what I'm trained to do in terms of like neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, is what do people want? Like, what do they want in the future? Not like trauma dumping. That's for a therapist or a professional or like a psychiatrist if you want to do that. For me, it's like optimizing what you actually want. Sleep better, manifest
Hmm.
what you want. What do you want in your future? And just kind of
Hmm.
optimize your thinking and modeling people that are already doing it.
Let's talk about an NLP because I know that's a big part of your craft and you spend a lot of time there. You help people with it. Would you say understanding NLP and knowing NLP? Well, maybe first of all, you can explain kind of what it is and how you
Yeah.
use it for yourself and other people. And is that kind of the key to like manifest shit in your life? It's like I wonder whether I'm trying to manifest getting my next Brazilian jiu-jitsu belt or manifesting money or manifesting my kid growing up healthy and secure and smart. Like, is NLP, how does that play? What is it and how does that play into manifesting things?
Yeah. Yeah. So NLP stands for neuro linguistic programming. So neurology, linguistic
Oh, I see.
language, and then programming your subconscious mind. So using the power of language to reprogram your mind, because language is the syntax. It's like the code, right? You're a coder. So there's a certain language, and really studying your language patterns and what you're saying in terms of self-talk or the language you say out loud. That's the code. That's the map. And NLP is really optimizing how you think. Just think better. What pictures do you have in your mind? Are you, say if somebody is scared of flying, on a plane, well, it's like, what pictures do you have in your mind before you're going on a flight? People that are scared of flying, they're, paying for their ticket and then they're thinking the worst case scenario with the plane. Compared to the people
Yes.
that don't have fear of flying, they buy their plane ticket and then they're thinking about being in Hawaii with their feet in the sand on a beach. They have a different picture in their mind, right? And if you have that different picture in your mind where you buy the ticket and now you're excited for being at the destination and excited for being in Hawaii, that's your picture. You're not really scared of the flight compared to having a picture
Mm.
of like this plane crashing, and anybody would be scared of that, right? Anybody
Right.
would be like, fuck, and it's the picture in your mind. So with NLP, it's changing the picture in your mind to what you want. For me,
Well,
when I went to my first Richard Bandler NLP training, I had a phobia of spiders, and he changed the picture in my mind. I actually held a spider, and I
no
realized when
way.
the spider was a big tarantula, the spider was nervous when it stood on my hand. It was nervous. I could feel the tension, and then it relaxed. And then I was like, this spider is just as scared as me. It wants to survive. And once it felt comfortable with me, it relaxed. So it really changed my perspective that all these species, all these animals, even spiders, they're scared too. They just want to survive. And then it just gave me more
That's-
compassion with that. Now I have a different picture of spiders. Yes, there's certain spiders that I need to fear and I need to get away from. But
uh-huh.
overall, my picture of a giant, scary spider in my head goes to this picture now that this spider just relaxed in my mind. And in terms of manifestation, it's like, okay, what do you want? Like for Brazilian jiu-jitsu, what belt you want? Well, who has done that already? What were their strategies? And then you just copy their strategies, you model their strategies, and you have that picture of the end where you want to be, black belt or whatever belt you want to be. So it's really optimizing your thinking and changing the pictures in your mind.
And since it's NLP, the language part of it, what role do affirmations play and do they work? And how do you come up with affirmations? Like, let's say if I want to by the way, I'm at white belt. I'm not bragging. One belt, two stripes, white belt. And after that is blue belt. Should I start saying that I have a blue belt, feeling like I have a blue belt, or I'm practicing 3 times a week? Like what writing and speaking affirmations, how does that come into the play?
Yeah, personally, I love doing like subconscious reprogrammings, and that's what I make on the Chill Pill with Yogi Bryan app. Is you listen to these affirmations while you sleep, it reprograms your mind. So yes, affirmations help in terms of that. But it's also, for breaking down exactly what you want. Well, what's your strategy to get there? What do you do first thing in the morning? What's your strategy? What picture do you have? What are the small steps? And somebody else that has got to that belt, what did they do? And studying what they did. So that's why it's great to have a mentor, because then you can model exactly what they're doing to get there. Yes, affirmations help, and you can do that while you sleep, because it transforms your mind. But then it's like, what steps can you take and how can you think to get there?
That's super interesting. I have so many friends and people I know that want to attract a mate. They're in their whatever late 30s and don't have a kid, never been married. They want a mate in their life, and they're just, for the life of them, they can't attract it or can't get one for whatever reason. And so, do you think this kind of stuff? Have you had clients who had that kind of goal that they wanted, and how did you help them with that?
Yeah, well, it's once they find out exactly what they want, then they can start taking action to get there. Because with manifestation, you have to take some sort of action, and you got to open it up. You got to open up your mind to that reality, to that picture. So once say attracting the perfect mate for you, it's really like, searching for a car. When you search for a car, what do you want? What year do you want? What color do you want? What accessories do you want? What
characteristics
type of
it.
characteristics, so getting very clear with what you want in a mate. And then, okay, so say if you buy a car, you want a 2015 to 2020, maybe you don't need the specific year, but that range. And then what are the characteristics that they have? So then you have your filter of what exactly you want. And then you search for that. Then you go on as many dates as you can. That's the strategy. That's what other people have done. You go on as many dates until you find that person. Maybe you have to go on 200 dates, but you're getting yourself out there, because most people that, they think they're going to manifest, and then this, soulmate's going to, show up at their door, knock on their door. Well, if you're working at home, maybe you go work at a coffee shop every day and you're talking to people. Maybe you give yourself I'm going to talk to 10 people a day, or swipe on the dating app 20 times per day. And then you have that criteria, you have your values, and you're searching for it, because what you seek, you find, right? What you're looking for is going to find you. So when you start looking for that, you start seeing that picture, you can take steps to find that. Maybe it's get out more, take a class, do a seminar. Where is your person going to be at? If you want to manifest that person, does she drink wine or does he drink wine? Does he go to wine tastings? Does he travel or she travel? Do they go to comedy shows? You like funny stuff? So show up there.
Brian, I wanted a white girl that makes Indian food. Check.
Awesome.
Got it. Wow. My girl Erica.
Yeah.
Love her to death. My
Heck
wife.
yeah.
My wife. Bro, that's awesome. You know what's amazing about that? Obviously, look, I'm personally trying to manifest all kinds of stuff in my life. And what's great about what you said is, it sounds so simple. I kind of had to listen to you a couple times, but then you realize how powerful it is. So allow me to play it back to you. What I'm hearing is, get clear about what you want, and then get curious and search and seek who got there. And what did they do? What does the exact path and strategy look like? And that's why I like that you said strategy, because it could be different. Everybody has a different journey, but maybe the strategies are very similar. And then the other one, that a big thing I took away from you is gotta take action. You can't just be I'm gonna go on this X path and go on this strategy and not fucking take any action.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
100%. It annoys the fuck out of me when people reach out to me for wanting free one-on-one help. It annoys the fuck out of me. And if anybody's listening, please don't do that to anybody. Because I've invested 50,000+ in my own trainings, in my own therapy, in my own help, in my own coaching. And that investment has leaped me 10, 20, 50 times ahead where I wanted to go, because I invested in myself. Whether it's $100 therapy session with your therapist or go to BetterHelp, I'm not sponsored by BetterHelp, fucking take the time and invest in yourself. And if you don't have the resources money, invest your fucking time. There's a lot of free shit out there on YouTube. So don't reach out to somebody and take their time, because you're probably not going to do it. And that's probably why you're fucking in this situation. is because you're not
Yeah.
taking the investment. You want somebody else to save you. Nobody's going to fucking save you. I'm not going to save you. You can listen to my
Yeah.
content and you can do the work and you can journal. You got to do the fucking work.
Boom.
Mic drop.
Mic drop.
Yeah.
Brian telling you how it is. Listen, sometimes you need a fucking bucket of ice water on your head and just get a reality check.
Seriously.
I love
I'm
it,
all
bro.
about people investing in themselves. Like I love helping
Hell yeah.
people that are investing in themselves. If you want to invest something,
Yeah.
yes, reach out and find somebody locally or find somebody to invest in, whether it's a mentor or a therapist or BetterHelp or whatever the fuck it is, because you're going to listen to that. You're going to actually show up and do it compared to, hey, Yogi Bryan, will you save me? It's like, I can't save fucking anybody.
Man, people have a weird relationship with money. I mean, fucking everybody does, right? And they'll easily spend $300 on some other bullshit, right? And they have a weird thing that like, oh, for my mental health well-being, I don't know if I can invest that much money. You know, I think at the end of the day, if you don't have any money, you got a bigger problem that we need to solve, you know, like people in general, you know, and like we live in this capitalistic society. Money makes the world go around. It's an energy exchange. And like you said, if you don't have the money, there's other ways to invest, which is time, energy, sweat equity, and all that stuff. And I think people just got to change their relationship with like what costs money and what doesn't. Like, dude, people like yourself have put in so much money. I've seen the stuff behind the scenes. You've invested mad money on coaches, building an app with us. Like you pay us hefty, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like the cost of doing business. And why shouldn't you charge for it? So yeah, that's so dumb. But I do think it's getting better over time. But there's still a lot of those like quote unquote freeloaders, you know, that don't want to prioritize on that.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I do have a lot of free content out there. YouTube and, you know, the Instagram, there's so much free content out there. Please, you know, people consume it and I want to help people. But when people reach out one-on-one and want like free stuff and like, please work with me one-on-one and then dumping their trauma on me, like that's a fucked up thing to do. And invest in yourself or go,
that's weird.
Go work on it yourself on YouTube or don't do that to people.
Yeah.
Please.
This is unreasonable.
Not just me, but anybody else. Like, yeah.
All right. That was a PSA from Yogi Bryan. Hope you're
PSA, please.
Change your ways, people. Come on. Do better. Do better. Brian, why did you make an app?
I made an app because I transformed my life through subconscious reprogramming, hypnosis, and NLP. I had made so much content on YouTube and Spotify, and I wanted some place where everything can be together, you know, very easy, smooth, looks good, ad-free, and then to have the creative freedom to curse more because, you know, most of these other platforms I'm fucking censored. You know, I can't say certain words. You know, if I say Nama titties, I'm fucking, it doesn't get shown. You know, so luckily, that's why I have the app. You know, I can have my creative freedom there. And I love it. And everybody needs to go check it out.
Chill Pill
with Yogi Bryan.
Chill Pill with Yogi Bryan. Type it in your app store. It's a fucking great app. I've been using it every single night, probably for the last 2 years. I know it was called other things, but like the content has largely remained the same. But it's such, dude, I'm so proud of you and proud of the team. The app is amazing right now in terms of the content, the look, the flow. Oh my God, it's so fucking good. And it's such a great resource for not just sleep stuff. I mean, sleep is a big one, but just, sometimes I'm feeling massively overwhelmed and anxious. You got that one, you got like a 3-minute meditation in there. I feel like I haven't even told you that. I go to that meditation so much. It's just 3 minutes. It's so good, man. It just brings me back, grounds me.
I love that. So, which one is it?
Thank you, Brian. I'll send you the, sorry, I guess I should have had the name.
Yeah.
It had a picture, it had a water and mountain picture. Let me see if I can dig it up. I'll dig it up before we end here.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I think that's been, and what's kind of been your audience's response to you having an app? Because obviously your audience also kind of grew as you already had the app, but kind of what has that process been like getting people to the app?
Yeah, it's been an awesome process, and I love the changes people are getting inside the app. You know, reprogram their subconscious mind. I have a fertility booster, subconscious reprogramming, and a lot of babies have been.
Me and my girl used it, by the way.
From helped. Awesome.
Yeah, Yeah, Yogi Bryan's a stork. Yeah,
So
keep going.
I love seeing stuff like that. I really do love seeing the shares of when somebody, was struggling, went through the app, did the subconscious reprogrammings, and then transformed their life. Like I love seeing shit like that, the people actually showing up, doing the work, because it takes time and practice. Like for me, it took 77 days for me to love meditation. I hated it for 76 days. Day 77 was an awakening for me, completely transformed my life. I was like, fuck, meditation's a superpower. And then that's when I got into hypnosis and NLP, because if this is a superpower, what are these meditations doing for me that I can enhance and do better? And then that's why this app, that's why I make this content, is to reprogram people's subconscious minds. There's a 40-night transformational series inside the app, which that alone is worth fucking 5 years of the app subscription. Do that over and over again because it'll
Oh my
fucking
God.
transform your mind.
Hell yeah. I just found, actually there was a bunch of them. You had a 3-minute, I think it was a 2-minute breath and meditation release. I just went and typed in the filter. You have the filter there. Oh, it's a 2-minute breathe and relax. Dude, that's a
Nice.
great one. This one right here. Can we see it?
Heck
Boom.
yeah.
2-minute breathe and relax. It's such a good one. And actually, I remember with my niece, I did the 2-minute kids meditation to smile. That was a great one. Just like, I was babysitting my niece, she was like, whatever, at that time she was maybe 10 or 11. And it was amazing how it just totally, it was like just a slight change. Because we close our eyes, just 2 minutes, not too long. And you got a great voice and you're telling them to smile, you know. And obviously I realized there's so much research, right? From just smiling, what biological change that creates, even just a little smiling. And for kids, they know how to smile. So when you tell them to do so if you have kids, do the kids meditation to smile. I feel like how young can they be, Brian, to do that with their parents?
Any age, as long as they can listen to an audio, and any age. I mean, adults do it. I get comments saying like, I don't have any kids, but I did that, and that's my go-to to smile. Because I talk kind of in like I'm talking to a child, so yeah, it's a little silly.
Some comments on that one. I'm just giving that one a shout out. Allison on the app said, laughing because I'm amazed I got my 15-year-old son to laugh. And then Jen says, my 2 and 5-year-old girls love this. Dude, it's such a great one. Oh my God. I can't stop smiling. What an awesome, tangible tool for supporting kids of any age.
Boom.
Oh my God. So awesome. Brian, you the fucking man, bro. Yogi Bryan. Yogi the fucking Bryan. Dude, I love everything you do. Stay with it, brother. I feel like this world is so grateful to have you. Tell us kind of I know you just did the Tahoe Yoga Festival. You headlined it. Crushed it with Jan Stone, DJ Taz. I know there were a bunch of other people there. What's the rest of 2026 what does that have in store for you, and what does next year look like? Where are you headed, bro?
Yeah, so I got the Transcend Yoga Fest coming up September 18th through 20th, 2026 in Middlefield, Connecticut. So anybody on the East Coast, come out there, get your tickets. Boom.
I'll be there.
I'm going to be collabing with DJ Taz Rashid, who I use most of his music on the meditations on the app, everywhere that I post meditations. And then for the future, I'm looking to make even more content. I feel like I'm just getting started with the app and what I've made already. Like I just recently did a month training pretty much with Richard Bandler, Master Prac NLP, and then trainer NLP through Richard Bandler, who co-founded NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. So I feel like the content that I've made for this last 10 years is just a warm up. And that's crazy to think of. Like, I feel like all the meditations I've created so far are warming up to what's coming next. So buckle up, everybody.
Buckle the fuck up. And we'll leave it there. Thank you so much, everybody. If you want to find Yogi Bryan, keep me honest here. You can just search Yogi Bryan, YOGIBRYAN, on the Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, right? And yogibryan.com. And Chill Pill app on the App Store.
100%. And thank you, everybody, for listening. And for the people that are meditating, need sleep, go check out the app, do those meditations. And then for anybody in the wellness space, meditation teacher training or mentorship, reach out that way, yogibryan.com.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Brian. Thank you for doing this, brother.
You're welcome. And seeing what the fuck is going on.